Hi, my dear friends. This is Professor Dr. Navid Kapoor, founder president of Peaceful Mind Foundation and Global Youth Mental Health Forum. Today, I'm making this video on the misconceptions about psychology and the myths about psychology which generally people have. You know, when we are teaching psychology to students and when we are lecturing about psychology on various forums, we have a lot of misconceptions which we come across, and people do not know about this subject that much. So from my experience, I have just jotted down, 5 to 6 points about the misconceptions or the myths about psychology as a field. First, people think that psychology is very easy. Well, my dear friends, I have studied and my colleagues have also studied. My students are also studying, and psychology is not everybody's cakewalk. Psychology has a lot of researches. Psychology has a lot of theories. Psychology has a lot of proofs which has to be done. Experimentation has to be done. So psychology is not easy. So people who think that people who do not have anything else to do, so they get into the field of psychology, well, that's not correct. The second myth which I have generally seen when even I was about to study psychology, my parents said psychology is a girl's subject. Boys do not do psychology. It's a girl's field. Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. When I have started studying psychology, I saw that many of the theories and the theorists and the books which have been written by men, and very famous like Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, Erik Erikson, Piaget. Very famous theories of the basics of psychology when we used to study, they have all been written by these famous psychologists. Then the third myth I have seen, that they say that psychology is not a science. Well, people, any field which you study is a science, because there has to be a scientific explanation to why things are happening. Even when we are doing English, we are doing political science, or any other field, or for that matter, there has to be a scientific experimentation that why certain theories have been derived to arrive at a particular conclusion. Psychology is a scientific study of human behavior because there are a lot of experiments which have been done. There are a lot of theories over the years, decades people have made, and they all have used scientific tools, scientific experimentations, scientific observations, and everything which has been based upon what we study today is scientific in nature. When I used to study psychology, and when I teach psychology today in class 11th, there is written that psychology is derived from physiology and philosophy, and when they both merged, it became a natural science. So psychology is a science. The fourth point is that psychology and psychiatry both are same. Well, it's not true. They both are from the similar field, I could say, but psychology and psychiatry are not same. Psychology is a field which deals with human behavior and understanding of human behavior. But psychiatry, when we talk about another field of human behavior, it deals with medication of human behavior. How do you medicate? Okay, it's basically an MBBS degree, or you go on for a further degree in psychiatry. But psychology, generally, when you do in your further studies, you take a bachelor's, which is a BA or a BSc, then you go in for master's, MA or MSc, you then go for MPhil or a PhD or whatever. But when you go in for a psychiatry degree, it basically deals with medications, and psychology generally deals with counseling, psychotherapy, diagnosis, etc, etc. Here I would like to make a point, my dear friends. They both work hand in hand together. No such field, either psychology or psychiatry, is exclusive. They both work hand in hand. But that's the misfortune of the field what we are in today, that they think that they all are individualistic. You can become a psychologist by just a bachelor's degree. That's my next point. My dear friends, with just a bachelor's degree, you just know 1 or 2% of what psychology is all about. I have been coming across these people that they have done diplomas, or they are just a graduate, and they call themselves as a guidance counselor, they call themselves as a therapist. But please, when I was studying psychology, even my professor used to tell me that psychology is not complete without a PhD. Psychology is not complete without at least a master's degree. Bachelor's is nothing. You have just stepped onto the stone, and you have to explore more. Another point I would like to add in here, my dear friends, that even if you have a master's degree or an MPhil or PhD or whatever degree you're talking about, a psychologist is a true psychologist when he or she is skilled or trained properly. And when I use the word training does not mean 60 hours, 120 hours. It means intensive skill in gradation inside a person. You know, when we get trained professionally, there is a different look to the field altogether. You start seeing things in totally different manner, different from what you have studied in the books. So that is another thing which I wanted to talk to you about. So my dear friends, these are the myths about psychology which we should all know. And for the next video, which would be around the next let's say tomorrow or Monday, we would be talking about, you know, the myths of therapies. We would be talking about something related to the World Mental Health Day which is coming. And to subscribe for this, just subscribe to Peaceful Mind channel on YouTube. Thank you.